when the Rising Tide Committee told me who the winner was this year, I had a very short and simple response. I said, "That's bullshit." Because I was like, you cannot award it to federal prosecutor Sal Perricone. He's a commenter. He's not a blogger. Please pick another. So they did. They went back to the drawing board, and I'm very proud to introduce and announce this year's winner. I'll say a few things, as I always do, indulgently, and we'll get to the next panel. He will be the first winner who's not from New Orleans. He grew up in Louisiana, a product of the public school system in this state. He's done all kinds of things, but among them, he was a state debate champ, growing up, a writer, columnist for a newspaper. He started a blog after Katrina that dealt mostly with politics and policy, and currently he lives in Dallas, of all places, just a stone's throw from Ray Nagin and Sean Payton, perhaps. He is a very impressive individual. I've known him for a long time, and served as a special assistant to a mayor in Alexandria, and written persuasively. But I mean, the thing I want to emphasize, the best thing about him is he doesn't know how to use Twitter, which impressed me. I mean, he's on it. He's on it a lot. But he doesn't know that it's just supposed to be, a way to express, cute things and to promote yourself in 140 characters or polish bullet points. He actually engages with people, and he doesn't know this, but I've lurked on his Twitter stream as he engages folks, and he actually argues with them and will debate with them. And I've started one night at midnight, just kind of tracking his stream. He's, debating someone, and I followed it for about 2 hours because of back and forth, substantive points, very divergent points of view, very passionate, but honest give and take. And I fell asleep at around 2 a.m. And that morning, later that morning, when I woke up, I wondered, I wonder how that debate worked out with him and the other guy. And I go back to the stream. He's still arguing. He's arguing all night about, political thing. And he's actively trying to engage in ideas. And he thinks that by engaging in a real debate on Twitter, which may not be the best format for that, hey, maybe I can persuade someone, maybe I can change someone's mind. And if you really believe that quaint old notion, then you also acknowledge implicitly that hey, I'm open to having my mind changed in an honest debate. And that still impresses me that people are really trading ideas, he's done it. Or he's just an addict, argument addict, I don't know, but one of the two. But I want to now reveal the winner of the 2012 Ashley Award, a passionate advocate, not only for Louisiana and for the policies that he agrees with, but for individuals who have mental and physical disabilities. So the Rising Tide Ashley Award will be presented to Lamar blog, Lamar White.
Yeah.
This is a really, really beautiful award. I don't want to shatter it immediately.
Yeah, Mark just asked me to show this to you guys. I think you designed this, right?
Designed by Greg Peters.
Greg Peters.
Who did a lot of the art over the years for Rising Tide, and I just engraved it on there. So
wow. Thank you.
Definitely don't shatter it right away.
It doesn't. It's pretty heavy. So I did prepare some remarks, and I'll try not to take too much time because I know we're running a little behind. But first of all, thank you to Mark and to all the other organizers of Rising Tide. Mark, Oyster, as we affectionately know you. I realize you have a conflict of interest here, but I'm sure for a lot of us, you've carried on the legacy of Ashley Morris with more skill and more gusto and more heart than anyone else. So if you ever decide to give yourself this award one day, we'll all understand. This is a huge honor, and it's made all the more special because the award is named after a man that I deeply admire, both as a writer and as a fierce advocate for the people of Louisiana. Very grateful that only a few months before he passed away, I was able to tell Ashley Morris that I was a big fan of his. And he was able to say, hey, thanks. I'm not the most obvious of recipients. For one thing, this conference celebrates the culture and the people of New Orleans, and I've never actually lived in New Orleans. Do you guys remember David Simon's lecture, I guess it was last year, on standing? I watched it online. I'm still trying to figure out what he meant. I know this. I'm more comfortable with sitting down. I'm not going to fall if I'm sitting down. So I'm going to remain seated.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to share some quick advice with you guys, my fellow bloggers, advocates, activists, and most importantly, my fellow Louisianans. These are the principles, this is sort of like my manifesto, the principles that guide my blogging and my advocacy. First and most importantly, write fearlessly. It wasn't until I was a freshman at Rice that I learned what it meant to write fearlessly. I just lost my father, who was 41 years old. I was 18, 19 years old. Enrolled for the first time in a personal essay class with a professor, Marcia Rectangle, who taught me, in the midst of my grief, that writing could be empowering. But in order to be empowered, you must allow yourself to become vulnerable. Sometimes that means sharing things that could be painful or embarrassing, but they're important. For me, it means, for example, that when I write about the defeat of an anti-school bullying bill that targets kids because of their disability or because of their sexual orientation, I must tell all of you, share with all of you, that when I was a kid, I was bullied. I was called names. I was actually pushed down the stairs in my high school once. And however embarrassing that is, and however much it offends my own sense of pride, it's important to share that. Because the only way you can really reach an audience is if you expose yourself to some vulnerability. And in doing so, you become empowered. Vulnerability can be empowering. Secondly, don't be afraid to apologize. That's a big one for me. As many of you may know, Andrew Breitbart's final public tweet, his final public statement actually, was a tweet, an apology to yours truly, in the middle of the night, I might add. Probably 2 a.m. I think he had just gotten home from a bar. It may have been uncharacteristic of him to apologize. In fact, a lot of people said that afterward and thought that it was somewhat ironic that the man who, railed against people for his entire life went out with an apology. But for many of his fans, that apology reinforced his humanity. And again, you can only become empowered as a blogger or an advocate if you also allow yourself to become vulnerable. And that's what he did. When you're wrong, admit your mistake. And finally, do your homework. Be exhaustive, be thorough. If you're going to publicly take a position on any given issue, do the rest of us a favor and learn that issue. Become an expert in it. Become more of an expert than anybody else. If you do that, I promise you'll very rarely have to apologize. And people will pay attention. So I'm closing up now. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank obviously my mom, my brother, my sister, who may be watching this live stream. I don't know. My old boss, the current mayor of Alexandria. I think our future governor. He's a work truck of a dude. Jacques Roy, my best friend and my best editor, Daniel T. Smith. He used to be a contributor. My partner in crime is actually here, and someone who's become like a little brother from another mother, Zach Coplin. My friend Matt Bailey, who coaxed me into helping him create a chapter of the New Leaders Council here in Louisiana. Obviously the great Dumbledore, Jason Berry, who tipped me off about a story involving $400,000 in an apostle/prophet. Thank you, Jason. I can give you credit for that. All the people who have contributed to and commented on our website during the last 6 years, the good people at the website, The Daily Kingfish. One of the writers is here, actually, Ian McKinney. He's a new writer there. So welcome to Ian, and most notably his founder, Ryan. And of course, Tony Perkins, Gene Mills, Superintendent John Wright, Bobby Jindal, and the overwhelming majority of the Louisiana legislature for giving me and others a fight worth fighting. Again, I know this is a fight for Louisiana and one that we can win, and I've got this bumper sticker on my computer that says, "Remember Ashley Morris, FYYFF."
Yeah. Remind
me again. What does FYYFF mean? Anybody?
Dude, you fucking...
All right, thank you. Thanks, guys.